In this video, I have Isaiah jumping on the channel, and you may or may not remember him. He actually signed his first client once he joined the program in 7 days and actually finished off the 30-day period with a total of 4 clients, totaling $5,000 per month. And really what we're going to be doing is how we managed to do that, where we believe the space is going this year, and just a bit about the systems and processes that you need in order to start signing clients within that 30-day period. So not going to waste any more time. Let's jump straight into the video. And look, if you are looking to start or scale, you can book a free call using the first link in the description. Isaiah, what's going on? Welcome to the channel. Really appreciate you jumping on.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Man, I've got to say, you've had a lot of success in a short period of time, and I think you've kind of held back on, what you could have probably scaled to. Like in the first 7 days, you got a client, and then it's been like, 30 days, just a couple of days over, and you've got 4-ish clients making about 5K a month.
A little bit under 5K, but yeah, 4 clients.
Tell me sort of like what got you into the whole marketing space, and just a bit more about, I guess, your story on like how were you able to scale up so quickly?
Yeah. So as far as getting into digital marketing, man, I'm just like everybody else, just scrolling through YouTube and seeing all these people who were doing this as a job. And, obviously that's something that intrigued me very fast. I see all these people not having a 9 to 5 and being able to be their own business owner is something that resonated well with me. So, just looked into it, started consuming a bunch of content, probably for about, month, 2 months straight. So I was kind of on the sidelines for a while before I actually decided to fully jump into it. And, came across several people out there who were going through the process of, what it takes in order to start off an agency, and came across Cody's. And I decided to go down that route, go join his agency program, was able to learn there. And yeah, I basically started out with the outreach in December of 2022. And I was actually focusing at the time on Facebook advertising because, that really is the popular thing. A lot of people do talk about Facebook advertising, and nothing really against that at all. So I started off with Facebook advertising, signed my first client with the outreach, just with cold calls, because that's what I have a background in. And within a week, I was able to bring on a client. And I soon found out after I signed the client, I was excited that, service is definitely no joke. And I ran into a brick wall because I had problems with my ad account going down, and I ended up getting restricted fully with one of my ad accounts. I don't know for what reason that was. I had done everything in order to verify my account and whatnot, but it happened that way. And I know that happens with a lot of people when it comes to Facebook advertising. And I do think it's important for people to know that, like, sometimes those are things that you're going to run into when you start with Facebook advertising. But after that, that was, maybe 3.5 weeks into starting. I basically had to make the tough decision to basically start over from scratch, even from there. And I said, you know what, maybe Facebook advertising is not going to be for me wholly. And I took about a 1.5 week, 2 week gap to kind of restructure everything and see, okay, maybe Facebook isn't the way I'm going to do it, but are there other ways that I can pull this off as far as an agency? And soon enough, I came across Google advertising. I know this is another way to do it, and still utilize the things that I had learned from, everything else before then. And was able to basically learn how it all works, the ins and outs of Google advertising. And that's basically what I decided. So in the beginning of January, that is what I marketed my agency as, is a Google Ads agency wholly. Mm-hmm. And with that, man, I started my outreach again, probably halfway into the middle of the first week of January. And at this point, been able to sign 4 clients, slowly progressing with the amount that I'm charging for the retainer. But again, I just wanted to make sure when I was getting clients on that I was actually being able to service them properly before I jumped into huge retainers or anything like that. So yeah, definitely just a start. I'm nothing to be incredibly happy about at this time, because obviously you want to be happy about your achievement, but still know that there's a long way to go. And that's the position
Definitely.
that I'm at right now. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's been great. And I do think that a lot of the teachings that have been provided within the agency academy has been great. And I've been able to implement that a lot when it comes to, everything as far as outreach, service, and everything in between. But
Yeah.
it's just been a journey. I
Yeah. Dude,
I know I had a
100%.
lot to say there.
And I think like the same fundamental principles apply whether you do Facebook ads, TikTok ads, YouTube ads. Like it doesn't really matter, right? Like that's just a vehicle that we all use to get the end result. Yeah, I guess like with the academy, like sort of what was it that you found that helped you get, these results so quickly?
For me, it was really just seeing other people in the position that I was in. I think, with the availability of, being connected with other people who are in the same spot as you, I think is one of the big parts that was, really helpful to me. Obviously, when you're first getting started with, outreach and I guess selling
Mm.
SMMA or digital marketing services, again, I do have a sales background, but knowing exactly, the ways that I need to be targeting certain aspects when it comes to digital marketing. And I was able to learn that within the academy. Like, okay, these are valuable pieces when it comes to selling digital marketing to potential clients.
Yeah.
And, I had never sold
Yeah.
marketing services before. And I think that was, again, tremendously
Yeah.
helpful for me to learn about, and also, try out for myself over time and see what works, what didn't work for me. And yeah, just make it my own in a way, just based off of what I've learned. So
Yeah, for sure. And I guess how important has your offer been to, really get those clients and, set that many meetings, right? Because you obviously off camera, like we had a brief chat and you were saying that it took you about like 50 booked appointments to get your
yeah,
first client. And I think that's really important for people to understand,
yeah,
right? Like
definitely.
this isn't easy, but with persistence and if you have a good offer with enough outreach, you will book appointments, and the more booked appointments you get, the more clients you're going to sign.
Yeah, definitely. I would say 100% to agree with that point. Like, it's not easy. And I think there's a lot of content out there from people who will only show the success.
Yeah.
And again, they don't really go into depth of, what it took to actually get there. But I'm a testimonial to the fact that, again, I'm nowhere near where I want to be
Of course.
long term, but again, the growth that I've been able to get to has been hard fought. And again, yeah, like I've been able to book with my offer that I created. It's not even at that fine tune at
Mm.
this point. A lot of it just has to do with the amount of outreach that I'm
Yeah.
doing. I say this pretty much to anybody who's getting going is, again, like, yeah, you could have a great offer, but at the same time, if you're only doing a handful of outreaches a day, like you're not going to get the results you're looking for. So with me, again, putting out an outreach for the first time and talking with people for the very first time, your best friend is going to be just cranking out those numbers. Like I was doing 150 outreach calls every single day. And
Yeah.
that might not be a lot compared to some other people. I know there's people out there who do 200, 250, but
Yep.
again, like for me, it's like, yeah, I'm booking anywhere between like 4 or 5 booked appointments every single day. And of course, maybe 2 of those won't show up every
Yeah.
so often. So again, it's just a game of numbers. It really is just putting yourself out there as much as you can. And you're gonna get results eventually. I mean, you throw enough fishing lines into the pond, you're eventually gonna get a fish. So
Yeah. 100%. And I guess what's your plan and I guess roadmap for the next couple of months? Because to me, this was interesting, and this is why I wanted to do this kind of now with you, because you've gone from 0 to just under 5K in that sort of 30-day-ish mark, but you're someone that if you really wanted to, you could have got to that 10K in 30 days, right? But you kind of chose not to. And even when you first joined the program, within like a day, you actually turned down a potential client, right?
Yeah.
Within the first 24 hours of joining, you said, I've got this person, they want to pay me X, and you turned it down, right? Which was the right decision. I just want to hear more about sort of your roadmap for the next sort of couple of months and how that's
Yeah,
gonna.
definitely. So, I mean, I think you hit it on the head there. Like my focus at this point, especially getting started, is not making a huge amount of money fast.
Yeah.
Because I do believe that, again, like you can get, one, there's burnout, and two, it doesn't fully allow you to actually hone in and perfect your process of not only selling, but also the very important part of retaining customers,
Yeah.
which is service. So to me, again, I'm not going to say that I would have hit 10K already like that. Like, don't get me wrong, I've been doing a lot of outreach, but I probably could have been in a place where I had more clients at this point. But I made the conscious decision to, again, especially over the last like 2 weeks or so, to kind of cut down a little bit on just focusing on sales, because I think right now, especially when you're getting started, what's more valuable to you and your brand when you're building your agency is, again, like getting actual results, and then two, getting testimonials. We were talking a
Yeah.
little bit about that off camera. Well, I was able to get like 2 or 3 at this point right now, and a lot of people take a long time to even get any testimonials at all. So
Yeah.
again, it's just a game of, well, the way you got to see it, and the way that I have to look at it is like, okay, this is a business. This is not a get rich quick scheme like a lot of people try to make it out to be. But you really got to come correct when you're starting a legitimate business, and you have to treat it like that. So every client that I get on, like my focus is getting them results, and it's not, let's make it look like we're doing something for them. And then, if they leave us next month, like, no, I want to
Yeah.
make sure that we're getting these people as best results as we can, because at the end of the day, I mean, they're going to notice, your clients are going to notice whether or not you have their best interest in mind.
Yeah.
Because
They're not stupid.
again, like there are a lot of people out there I see like, oh man, I made 5 new clients this month and I lost them all, and I have to get 5 new clients. Like, I don't want to be like that. I want to be the guy who, again, has a good track record,
Yeah.
has a system in place that you can just plug in and know it works. Because I mean, that's business. That really
Yeah.
is, like, if you want to run a legitimate business that's not known as like one of these agencies that I hear about all the time when I'm making my phone calls. I always hear all the time, oh yeah, I got burned by the last agency that I worked with and they got me 0 results. I don't want to be one of those guys. So yeah, basically taking a little bit of time with, putting aside the instant gratification of getting sales in fast is important, I think, because
Yeah.
it's going to build you actual skills to, actually know what you're doing and building your
Yeah.
system.
100%, man. Like, and I think that's what a lot of people need to hear, like it's about getting results. Yeah. But it's also about slow and steady wins the race a lot of the time. What's the point of, okay, cool. Yeah. You hit 10K one month. Wow. Amazing. And then the next month you're back down to 2. It's just building blocks each month. You sign on 1 or 2 clients, you're perfecting your service delivery, and, you've already got 3 testimonials, right? You can then leverage those to get more clients. You're
Yeah.
growing in a sustainable way that's, also putting the client first, which is extremely, extremely important. It's not about getting rich quick. It's about building a sustainable business that's, long term. You're thinking, 2, 3, 5 years down the line rather than 2 or 3 months.
Right. That's actually the thing. It's, again, I want to be doing this and I want to be having a business for decades, right? Like,
Yeah.
and that comes with, again, having success, not only with sales, but with a track record of getting the clients what they need. And again,
most don't have that, right? Like you said, you jump on calls, and dude, I totally agree with you, right? Like most of the prospects that you speak to, they've been burnt. Like I actually find it strange if they haven't been burnt. Right. I'm like, oh wow, like you haven't had a bad experience. Wow. Like I'm surprised when they haven't. Like it's got to that point where if I speak to a business owner that hasn't been burnt, yeah, majority of people have been burnt. And it's not just once. It's like, oh, I got burnt by this person for this much, and then I got burnt from, the other person I tried for this much. And it's like their guards up. They've been burnt 1, 2, 3, sometimes even 4 times. And, they don't want to make that same mistake again.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, the first guy that I saw signed on for a fairly low retainer, he didn't even want to work with any marketing agency ever again
Yeah.
when I first talked to him for the first time. But the way that I was able to actually get him was, again, putting aside that instant gratification mindset. I was like, hey, I mean, he told me how much he had spent for a retainer. And then he told me how much he was spending for the ad spend. And the retainer was way higher than the ad spend in that case. And I was like, look, man, if it has left such a sour taste in your mouth and it lost you all that money, let's do this, man. I'll take the lower end of what you're spending on your ad spend as a retainer and let's flip it. And I went ahead and put more into the ad spend instead, so that, more of the money that we were actually putting into the campaign was actually going into
Yeah.
getting him results. And I mean, he's seen the benefits of it. I mean, he was able to put his trust in me. And again, at the time, I didn't really have a track record of success, but I was like, hey, man, like, I know you've been burned in the past, but let's give this another go. And I'm positive we'll be able to work something for you and get you better results this
Yeah.
time around.
Dude, that's what it's about. Thinking about it long term rather than the short term gain.
Again, I was able to get him on board, and I mean, he really was my first successful campaign
Yep.
so far, thus far, and I still have him to this day. And again, like, the retainer isn't incredibly high, but again, he is like a testament to the fact that your system actually works. And I think, again, when you're getting started,
That's what matters.
screw a couple
Proof of
$1,000.
concept too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
Like
screw a
you
couple
yeah.
thousand extra dollars in your bank account when you have that success in your back pocket that you can show to other people. That will get you those big retainer clients down the line.
Dude, 100%. Like, that's so much more valuable than $1,500. You can leverage that person and say, hey, look, John was someone who had been burnt. He'd swore that he'd never do marketing again. These are the results we were able to generate him. Being able to show the prospect this person, right, this testimonial and who they actually are, man, it's the most powerful tool that you have.
It's just been a little bit about my process this far. And, obviously at this point, still beginning. And I'm really optimistic as far as what we can achieve in the next couple of months. But
so are you still doing
limit.
your cold calls to set meetings?
Yeah, I still am at this time. Actually, I kind of got my system in place as far as my service. So I'm looking to ramp that up a little bit more. Again, I was doing about 150 before. I had dropped it down to maybe like 75 at this point, like cut it in half during that time. But I'm looking to ramp it back up again at this time again, that's what I'm good at, is selling, because that's what I have a background in. And now that I kind of have my service aspect figured out,
you're a lot more confident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Again, it's important. You have to take that time to get comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, it's going to bite you in the butt down the line.
100%, man. From what you were saying, you're going to be a lot more confident when you sell now, right? Like, obviously you've had some sales experience, which is amazing. And anyone that has sales experience often, understands things a lot better than someone that's totally green. However, by having your service delivery down pat now, you're going to be a lot more confident to close these deals.
Yeah, and definitely it's like when you were first getting on to talk to these potential clients about a service that you've never ran before and you don't have anything to back up what you're saying, really, it's a little bit harder, obviously, to sell yourself confidently. But now at this time where, again, you've seen, you can do it, it works, and that it's going to continue to get better as you optimize, the campaigns that you're running. I mean, it makes a world of a difference, not only for you, but for your client as well, because they're going to be able to see, like, okay, this guy is he's using the lingo of the niche that we're talking about, and he knows about it. And again, it goes 100 miles for you, and 100%. It really just takes you to the next level.
And on what you just said about the lingo, I think that is so important. And I think most people aren't willing to do that, is really diving into that market research, right? Really understanding, who are these people, right? Like, what are they struggling with? What are their pains? Like, what are their problems? What do they want help with? What do they need solved? Like, why is this happening? Like, understanding all of that. I don't think enough people do it. They think they do, but in my opinion, they don't. Because if you do it correctly, they will, like, that will come across on the call and they will trust you.
Definitely, definitely. And I think that was something that I think ties into picking the niche that you're going into. Because when I first got started and when I was kind of planning things out, my first initial outreaches were to niches that I had no idea about. Now, this is not to say that you can't try to sell to a niche that you may not be incredibly familiar with, but I was only selling to people that not in a million years would be things that, one, have any interest in me, and two, I would ever kind of have like a serious conversation about. But I was still trying to go after those niches because they have a high ticket retainer amount, right, to attach with them. Because but anyway, so being able to, again, put yourself in a situation where you're talking to types of people that you think you're going to have the most success speaking with and learning about that market or that niche, I think is really powerful. Because again, I went into something that, may not have as high of a starting retainer, but at the same time, it was easier for me to close these clients because I was able to level with them a little bit better and learn about the industry that they're in a lot easier, because it was more tailored to my personality and to what I know already.
And that's so important, right? Like, I don't think many people talk about it. Like, for example, you're in sort of the trades niche. For me, I know I can't sell them. I suck. Right? I can't do it because I've tried. Trust me, I've tried and tried and tried. I can't do it. I struggle to level with them. Right? Professional services, no problem, easy peasy.
Real estate agents, even like dentists, for me, I can talk to those people. Like, I know how to throw on like the very professional tone and I know how to speak with them, but I just haven't had that level of success with, your local business owner who's running a blue collar job, blue collar business. And it's just what's been easier for me. But I definitely would recommend that. Of course, that doesn't mean you should fully limit yourself, because I think be open to
keep it in
working
mind,
with different types of people. But definitely, like, I think especially when you're getting started, it's important to get into a field or type of industry that would be best tailored to how you are and how you interact with people, I think.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Well, look, man, it's been really great to chat to you. Really great to have you on. We'll definitely do another interview when you hit to 10K. Like, it's February 3rd as we record this now. I don't know when this will be launched, but in the next coming months, I reckon you'll be at that 10K mark, and you pretty much have all the systems and processes in place.
I mean, it's all ready to go as far as really tailoring the system and getting it well oiled. But I think at this point, like, okay, we pretty much can be looking to really scale here at this point. So really excited about it. It's a great spot to be in for sure.
Yeah. Fantastic, man. Fantastic. Well, we'll catch up again soon.